Thank you for the like. Happy Sunday. Karen, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? Thank you. How are you doing today? I'm also doing fine. How was your Sunday? Karen? Kim girl. Karen, you have some complex names. Now this one, Kim Galgol. Yeah, Kim Galgol. That's so amazing. If your Sunday was fine. Even mine was good, Karen. Even mine was good. I'm grateful. You know, very, very grateful. I have seen this great day. Very, very grateful. I have seen this great day. Kabisa. Ujaja lazima. Hapa nao na agree. So you look for complex names. Jaja kama sungula. Token na kikale. Kila siku token. In fact, when it's about 4, iko 4 something, but it still makes a lot of noise, you know. Imagine, hii yangu it has a very, the sound is very high. The sound is very high. Karibu fikirie pia nyinyi mmeishiwa na token. Hii inakuaga hivyo. Hata mtu akipita pale kwa pathway huwa wananiambia what is that? Nawaambia it's my token which is making a lot of noise. Hii yangu nayo inakuaga with a very high voice. The voice is very high. Yeah, hivyo ndio mmefikiria, but then hivyo ndivyo nimefikiria, but then yetu waitoit. Hii yangu ni sauti. Ni sauti ile kubwa inakukubusha there is something that you should do. It keep on disturbing you so that you can just go there and keep on checking. na saa iko 4 point something. Imagine that one can serve me for 2 days. So it has been making noise today, it will be making noise tomorrow, and then probably I recharge on Tuesday. The others in a make noise, and then all of a sudden the lights are boo, they are gone. But this one, it's better. It makes a lot. Yeah, very, very expensive. Like we had recharged on Friday, 300 bob. Now today it's making some noise. By tomorrow it will be 1 point. Then we recharge again on Wednesday. Very, very expensive. But unajua Karen, me I'm 24. I'm more of like for me Aikaikai. Thank you guys for joining. For this one 300, it should take not less than 4 days, not more than 4 days, and then after 4 days, boo, it's gone. So you recharge once again. So you recharge once again, but I'm used to that because sometimes I have a lot of gadgets that I'm using. Thank you guys for voting. Thank you so much guys for voting. Thank you guys for voting. So Karen, that's how this thing keep on behaving. Yeah, I'm going to pursue them in the near future so that maybe we can see if they can do some adjustments. It always make a lot of noise. It always make a lot of noise. Thank you good people for joining. Let's like the live. let's like the live, guys. Thank you so much for joining. If this is your first time, you can consider subscribing, and also guys, maybe you can also consider maybe contributing to our today's topic. We are here with my sister Karen Jepkilui. So guys, you can check also on her platform and everyone else, guys. So you can contribute, you can also like our live. If this is your first time, you can also consider subscribing, as I wish you guys happy Sunday. As I keep on wishing you guys happy Sunday. Let me know how you are feeling on this good Sunday. Let me know how you are feeling on this great Sunday. I hope guys you are all fine. On my side, I'm doing fine. And today we have a very thank you guys for the likes. Thank you. I appreciate guys with a lot of love. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you good people for the likes and also for the voting. Let's keep on voting, guys. This is something that is practical, when we talk about unity, that's something that is very, very practical. Thank you guys for voting. Thank you for liking the live, and if this is your first time, you can also consider subscribing. Karen, what about monetization? We are still in the process. You know, the watch hours are moving at a very slow rate. They are moving at a very, very slow rate. But thank you guys for voting. Thank you guys for voting. Let's keep on voting. 67% are saying one way to address on what we call the social unity is all about celebrating diversity, you know, and 33% are saying we have some other mechanisms of ensuring that we address the issue of social unity. I agree with you guys entirely. You know, social unity can be looked, unajua unaripwa na ile ya side. Karen, unajua unaripwa na ile ya side ya earn. I didn't get that one, Karen, very clearly. I didn't get that one very clearly. But I think it's a process. You know, I think it's a process to get monetized. Because you see, at the end of the day, you have Mr. Peter, how are you doing today? Happy Sunday. Mr. Peter is saying, hi, social unity is built on empathy, that is positive feelings for others and compassion, a desire to help and uplift others. But yes, social unity is under stress. Thank you for such a very good view about social unity. I also agree social unity is under threat, guys. Social unity is really under threat. Karen is saying, when you keep on checking your watch hours, kuna praise unaona how you get monetized. Yes, Karen, I use the YouTube, the YT, the YouTube studio to keep on checking there. But unless now you feel the hours up to the end, that's now when you'll be eligible for the application of the monetization process. So for now, you cannot apply unless the bar is up to the end. So without the bar getting to the end, you are ineligible. But once the bar is up to the end, then you become eligible, and then now you can now take the process, where you can now apply for the monetization. That's how it is. That's how I understand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's where now you have the watch hours, and they keep on updating daily your watch hours. Nigumu, of course, it's a process. That's the reason why I'm saying it's a process, because you have to fill the 3,000 hours. And I have seen for the new YouTubers, it is now they changed for the new ones. For those that are maybe starting their YouTube now, the new requirement, minimum 1,000 subscribers and then the 4,000 watch hours. But for us that we started a little bit earlier, it was a 500 and now 3,000 watch hours. So Karen, I think you are also in that category of 500 and 3,000. Yeah. Jua next year utaanza tena. Sometimes it oh yeah, you should be there. That's where you have so for you are in that category where it's 1,000. No, see, you are not starting a new afresh. What they do, where you are here, there is where you started. Yeah, it's an year is a cycle. For instance, I had started my YouTube on it was on August. You see, on if the years will if the watch hours will not have filled, that's where now they remove some. Like mine, it really deteriorated because the last time I checked, before my year ends, really deteriorated with like 300 watch hours, they were removed. You get? That's what they keep on doing. So it all depends on where your ear cycle ends. Yes, that's what they do. So you should know when you started. Yeah. Mine went below with 300. Until now, I told my good friend, now I'm a little bit tired because I really thought that this thing was progressive until maybe I feel that thing. But there is a time when it can come and then it start going down slowly. You know, there is a software. Yeah, it goes down slowly. Mine went minus 300 watch hours. You know. So for my case, my year ends on August. My year always ends on August. Yes. But I'm very hopeful. Before next year, my year ends, I'll already have been monetized. You know. No, you should never give up because you have already done a lot. You should never give up because you have done a lot. Winners never quit. That's the thing. Winners never quit. But you should not be 100% sure that maybe you are 100% relying on YouTube. That's not a thing that you should do. Yeah, you should have some what I would say some side project. Hmm? You should have some side project or some. My friend Peter always called them some side hustle, some side income. You know. So you can never rely 100% on YouTube. What if it's closed? You just wake up one day and it's closed. You're going to get traumatized. And we don't want you to go that route. So this one should be like a side thing. Imagine there are some people haja post for 2 years, hii mwaka na ana celebrate 100,000. Yeah, you know now what we are doing for now, we are really trying to build a platform. You know, that's the essence of YouTube. You are now trying to build a platform, and once that platform is now stable, you know, even if now you'll be posting less, as long as you got monetized. Like I always see that once you are monetized, you only need like to have 3 videos per month. Yeah, in fact, you just have 3 videos per month, and then that is it. But now you see, the moment you are not monetized, you have to keep on working each and every day until now that day you are going to. Because once you are monetized, even your previous videos will always be part and parcel of your earning. That's how I understand that thing. So you should never give up until now you are there. You know, until now you are there. So for those guys that maybe they are probably celebrating all those numbers, most of them will just find that most of them will just find that those are guys who have really, maybe invested in the past a lot of time, and then once they did that, their channel became very stable, and then they are good to go. Good. So Kalen, never give up. Let's keep on moving on. So guys, back to our story. Is social unity under threat? As my good friend Peter said, yes, social unity is under severe threat, but there are a lot of complex situations, or complex factors that are increasing that form of that form of social disunity. That social unity. So there are a lot of factors that are really leading to what we may call the social disunity. Yeah. They always say that modern challenges, because we are having a lot of modern challenges. These are some of the key things that are really threatening what we may call the social unity. For instance, guys, the Gen Zs are everywhere, and they are really calling for social unity. But you see, in the process, it's also causing a lot of discomfort, with the other generations, like those older generations, and in the process, that form of unity that really used to be there, it's always under threat. And this is what it's called affective polarization. So you find that when we have affective polarization, this is where it just goes mere policy agreement, and in the process of having what we may call the policy disagreement, then at the end of the day, you just realize that there is a lot of mistrust or distrust that are really projected toward the public. For instance, here in Kenya, guys, we are having a lot of, and one of the CBA that really brought a lot of discomfort, was all about this agreement that was the housing levy. If you guys, you are in Kenya, you know about the housing levy. It brought a lot of discomfort to the masses that maybe they are being charged that amount of money, and in the process, instead of us coming together, there are some guys who pulled out from the unity that we really had, and that's a form of social disunity, or what we are saying that our social unity is under threat. So there are some of the policies that we may have, and then in the process you just realize that they are causing a lot of disunity. Similarly, even in our houses or in our homes, yeah, this is where maybe your husband or your wife, is making some kind of we call them haphazard decisions, decisions that are maybe decisions that are just made from the bruise, and in the process, it really brings a lot of, a lot of conflict, a lot of conflict even between the couples, and at the end of the day, it might be a very such great threat, even to the existence and the cohesionness of the family. Like I heard of another story today. I don't know what is really happening. I don't know if guys are making a lot of decisions, and it was yesterday that I heard from the Classic 105, and they really didn't get it very, very clearly on what is really happening. I heard of a certain girl who was saying that she is married, but at the end of the day, she agreed, it was her personal decision that she agreed with the, even without involving the husband, that she is going to have other kids outside their marriage. I don't know really how that works, but I really found it to be very weird. I found it to be very, very weird, because you know what, at the end of the day, she has still, disclosed that information. But I was really asking myself, what will happen when the husband will really know that all the three kids, she was saying that she has the three kids, but the three kids, those kids, really belongs to the husband. So I don't know how it will really ends up when the husband maybe understands that those kids that he has been taking care of, they are not her kids, they are not his kids. Because at the end of the day, uh, being truthful, I think is something, it's a good virtue that we can emulate. It's a very, very good virtue that we can really emulate. So effective pluralization, as we have said, this is where maybe you form some agreement, but at the end of the day, you just find that those agreements are not that I really love about what is causing disunity. Is all about the issue of echo chamber. Echo chambers. This is where you say them against us. Them against us. Like, I think that's where now the world is. For instance, the Gen Zs are really saying is us, the Gen Zs, against maybe the political class. That's where now we are. Globally. You saw today, like today, I saw there was maandamano here in Kenya. All those countries, they are really having a lot of these conflicts. For instance, here in Africa, if you have ever heard about any country that have really gone on the street to protest, they are saying it's the political class against us, the young people. Some of them saying, the political class is really killing us in terms of not giving us jobs. The political class is really maybe taking our resources away maybe to other countries for their own enrichment. All these things, yeah. And then at the end of the day now, we really have the us against them. And the moment now we have the us against them, then the kind of social cohesion or the social unity that could have really prevailed, you just find at the end of the day, that kind of social unity is no longer there. The other issue is all about the popularist movement. Yeah, this is where you always find that we are really in an age whereby we are really leveraging on the social media, and the social media, it's a good thing, but on the other hand, you just find that a certain group may be championing a certain group aligned maybe to a certain class or to a certain maybe party or maybe to a certain individual or maybe a certain ideology. They are really championing, on the ideology. And in the moment now, you just realize that we are having a lot of social disunity, and in the process of that, this really divides our society. This really divides our society. For instance, in our country, we are having the one term and the two term, movement. That's a clear way of how our society can be fragmented, or it can come into a way that this group can go on their way and another group can go on their way. So populist movement, they are also very, very dangerous in terms of developing what we may call the social disunity, you know. The other issue is all about the social media. Again, this is where the social media is really creating what we are calling the divide content, you know. Yeah, this is where we are having the divisive content and misinformation. Misinformation. This is where maybe at times we are really hearing about extreme content, very, very extreme content. And you know, in the process of generating this extreme content, you just realize that you know, the society is getting divided day by day in, day out. Yeah? For instance, we have been having a lot of, you know, a political heat, you know, within our country. And in the process of having what we may call the political heat, you always find that a lot of information is being published now and then, you know. And you know, we are in the era of information. There is nothing more, there is nothing that we can really do about that. So information is being printed right, left, center. And in the process of printing that information, some information is coming straight. And even when you read about those titles, you know, the title of the information that you are reading, even before you have read even the first paragraph, you already have what we may call, what is it called? You have already formed your own opinion on the entire article. Yeah, like I always see, I use TikTok a lot, and I always see some of the headlines that are really, you know, written by companies such as Standard each and every day. And once now you just read the title, you just, you know, you just have this kind of preoccupied notion about what the entire article might be, you know. So social media, on the other hand, in as much as we have used it, and you can become an effective part-time teacher. Yeah. Very true. Very true, Mr. Peter. Hmm? Very, very true. I'm going to consider that. I'm going to consider that. I will consider that. So social media, you just find that maybe you are having, you know, some of the key titles about what is really happening, maybe in the country, maybe in the world, globally, and you have what we may call maybe a preconceived notion on understanding the entire thing. So social media at one point is a very, very good way to go. But on the other hand, in terms of creating what we are calling the social disunity, social media is part and parcel of ensuring that you know, it's being propelled. The other issue is all about what we are calling the online echo. You know, when you talk about the online echo, this is where you just see some views being promoted, maybe by a certain group, and you know, others are being even mobilized via the social media, and you know, at the end of the day, they really lead to what we are calling the political violence. And this is the kind of social extremists that we are really experiencing in our nation. I heard everyone, you know, even I have heard a lot of politicians talk about what is really happening in our town today, CBD. You know, because there was a time that goons were very, very well organized in the CBD, and they really went there for a political reason. But there was a politician who was today saying, now since the political actions, or maybe the political things that have scaled down, and since that was the route that they were really shown, they don't have anything else to do apart from just going there and trying to vandalize on the common man. And therefore, in as much as we are going to glorify, you know, what we may call like the online, you know, the the chambers, yeah, the echo chambers. This is where maybe we promote a certain group, maybe to do a certain act of violence, but now we are not really looking at the long-term effect, the long-term effect. What are they going to do, and how serious is that thing? I have demonstrated the case of the goons that we have really realized in our CBD, and today it's very problematic. You just go there with your phone, and if you are not careful, the phone is gone. If you are not careful, they can even, they are even trying to steal from anyone. And that's another way that, yes, social media has been fine, but that's another way that has really caused social disunity within our social settings. The other aspect is all about the amplification. And this one, I think this is where most of our politicians, and I think this is a global thing, this is a global thing, because in any type of setting, you always realize that we have what we may call maybe the government of the day and the opposition. I think in almost all the cases, and then in the process, there is one group. It might even be the government that is always, AI is being trained on social media content and comment. If social unity is being weaponized, then AI will pick up on bad habits. We do this and blame the AI for having hallucinations, or what we may call the errors. I agree. Because even us, the guys that are really training the AI, we are having what we are calling a lot of biases. So in the moment that now we amplify or we train the AI using what you are calling maybe the social unity kind of lines, then at the end of the day, I agree, AI will also be making some erroneous errors, and then we'll be always be complaining that the AI is not working effectively. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Because all of us, we are human, and maybe we are prone to a certain opinion, and once now we start even training AI using our lines of thought, that maybe they are sometimes compromised, then at the end of the day, AI will also be making some key errors. So very true. I also agree. Yeah. So amplification of hate speech, as I was saying, this is a real catalyst, that is causing what we are calling the social disunity globally. And I agree that this is where now most of the political class have really thrived. There are some politicians that have really thrived on grounds of violence, and without amplification of violence, then their careers have always been dimmed. So this is the best. When you hear people talking about the street smart kind of politicians, this is the route that most of the politicians really take to ensure maybe we keep. Sometimes we are stabilized, and then they just come with something, and we feel like destabilized, and then we move on. But the entire theme is all about tending to create a kind of maybe a havoc society, or a kind of a havoc scenario. And the process of doing that, you just realize that social unity is no longer there. The other issue is all about the erosion of social bonds. Yeah, the social bonds. And anyone in Kenya will agree with me. We really felt the erosion of social bonds, especially during our last election. This is where our election was pro the hustler versus the dynasty. If you guys, you can really recall on that. Yeah. And in the process, I remember there was a time a certain guy, by bad luck, that guy was driving a Probox, and by bad luck, he hit a guy. He hit a guy who had a motorcycle, and in the process, all the motorcycle guys came. They touched his vehicle, and in the process, they all said, you know what? This is a dynasty who is trying to suppress, the hustler. and in the process, it really escalated, and and that's how things really operated during that period. Dynasty versus the hustler. And in the process, if you look at the entire thing critically, it really eroded some kind of social boards, because we really now tended to view even those guys at the top, they were like the common enemy of the guy who was at the bottom. But that was not the real thing. It was a kind of a fabrication by the politicians as usual, and in the process we really lost a lot in terms of social unity. The other issue, guys, is all about fueling what we call the pessimism. Pessimism. Yes, that should be the right way. This is where you always find that anger is being directed in a certain direction. Anger is being directed in a certain direction. For instance, now, guys, I really said about this issue about the housing level. That was anger that was directed by our government of the day in that direction. And in the process of doing that, wow, people became very, very pessimist about how the entire system is really working on what we are calling the housing levy. And in the process, you cannot really tell that guy, maybe who is paying for what we are calling the social housing levy, that thing is a good thing. No. Why? One, there was a form of anger that was really directed in making that policy without even their involvement. And in the process, things really turned to be messy. The same thing is really happening to what we are calling the SHA. In our country, I think we are having a lot of issues. Because the SHA is also there, and people are really feeling that you made the wrong system, and then in the process, and then in the context of trying to streamline the process, you are even making it more harder, and you are even making it more complex. And now when people now start to see as if maybe things are being directed in a certain direction, then for them, they always feel very, very uncomfortable in contributing to some of these things. So they become, instead of them becoming very hopeful, optimism, they always become very, very pessimist or very, very negative about, as the global space is all about the in-group bias, the aspect of the in-bias. This is where you find that in most cases, this is where a certain group or certain groups really feels maybe threatened by other groups, and and I think this one is well felt, especially in countries where maybe we have some, we have different races. This is where maybe you find a guy is an African American, for instance. For the case of the US, you just realize that there are those that up to date they still feel that if I'm white, I'm more advanced, and I'm more privileged. Yes, that should be the word. I'm more privileged than this African American guy. And in that process, that kind of a bias, you just feel that maybe there is what we may call the identity crisis. And having that identity crisis, it will always cause some conflict between maybe these social setting, maybe this within the social groups. And having a lot of disunity between the social groups, then we really realize what we are calling the threat of social unity. So that one is another issue that is really leading to what we are calling the social disunity. But it's always good now to look at the positive side. How can we be able to foster, or how can we be able to enhance or to strengthen the entire thing about the social disunity? And the first one, as you guys have said, is all about empathy. This is what Mr. Peter has said. we always we should always say tend to put ourselves in the positions of others, and the process maybe of understanding them. We always realize that at the end of the day, we can always lay them with them. We can always feel what maybe we can be able also to lay them with their issues, with their needs, and in that putting ourselves in that environment, we truly understand their views, their perspective, their way of doing things. We appreciate their culture and whatever, and as a way we really find ourselves at the end of the day, we have what we may call the common consensus. And in the process of having common consensus, then we can now build something which is long lasting, you know. The other issue is all about sharing and valuing and spotlighting our values. This is where maybe we can share on some of the universal things or some of the universal attributes, such as, being kind. Because being kind is not harmful, being focused, advocating for where justice should be, and even finding justice, to find what we may call a common ground. And in the process of maybe fighting for justice, you'll always find that we are really creating a stronger board, rather than maybe breaking the board. And once now we start building that strong board, then things are always going to work for our advantage. The other aspect in which we can reduce the declining form of social unity is all about building community, through our experiences. For instance, here in Kenya, for those guys that really got what we may call the 2007 2008, post election violence, PEV, they always tell you, when we reach to a point whereby now we can fight as a country, I think that thing is not light. Why? Because ABCD happened, people were touched, people maybe their properties were touched also. And in the process of understanding that kind of having that kind of an experience, it really puts us together on understanding that instead of maybe fighting even other communities, we really need to come and have what we may call support each and every community. And in the process of supporting each and every community, then you just realize that maybe we really have what we call the shared values. And I really love the ideology of the Gen Zs, because each and every time the Gen Zs, be it in Kenya, be it the latest news that we have heard about the Gen Zs, in one of the Asian country, or everywhere the Gen Zs are having an uproar, they share this kind of a common sense, or a common value, that one, we are tribeless, we don't want to work on grounds of tribe, we are also leaderless. We don't really want to work on maybe we are being propelled by a certain leader. No, but what we really want to achieve, or what we really want to attain, is just a common goal or just a common purpose. And that's another great way of ensuring that we keep on elevating what we may call the social unity. The other issue, for instance, for those nations that are really fragmented in terms of the social race, there is also need to build what we call the diversity. We celebrate each and every diversity. This is where we appreciate each and every culture, we appreciate each and every race, be it a white guy, be it a black African guy, be it a Latino, all those type of races. We just appreciate, and in the process of appreciating that, you just realize that we have what we may call a common purpose. Then we can also focus on promoting inclusion. This is very, very important, because the moment we start now embracing on inclusion, you just realize that we are able to create what we may call the sense of belonging, because sense of belonging is also very, very fundamental within the society. We don't really want to leave some members of the communities behind. we really want to move as a team. We really want to move as a team. So if it's coming to the issue of employment, this is where now for us to build what we may call the social unity, we should always focus on ensuring that maybe we are distributing the available jobs in a more equitable manner, in a more equitable manner. And once now we start focusing on ensuring that each and every individual is part and parcel maybe of our society progress or development, then it becomes easier. Promoting inclusion also, we also include cultures. We appreciate this guy is from this culture, that lady is from that culture, and the moment now we start doing what we may call the close culture, at the end of the day, things really becomes very, very, we start now having what we may call the pluralistic kind of society. So having those cross culture aspect is also very, very important. Then we can also model on respect. This is where we really want to build. Respect at all levels within the society. This is where we really want to appreciate and to ensure that even the hustlers, can have trust with maybe, they can also have trust with the have-nots, and maybe even the political class can have the goodwill of the people that they are leading. That's what we are saying, that we should model on building respect. And in the process of building that respect, where maybe I can believe that even my politician can be able to cater for my needs, then at the end of the day, you just find that things are really, really going to work. The other aspect is all about engaging different people in different projects. I think this one is also very, 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 very important. Because when people are engaged in different projects, they really, achieve common goals. Engaging in joint projects and activities, this one is always very, very positive in attaining what we may call the common goals. And in the process of attaining this common goal, you just realize that bond and cooperation, they are really, really created. And once you have bond and cooperation, those are the key dimensions or the key aspects that are linked with creating a long-lasting form of unity. So bonds are always very, very key, because once they are created, then we are almost certain that trust, we are almost certain that unity will always prevail. The other one is all creating safe places and respect, and this is where maybe we discuss on the evolving issues, and in the process of discussing on these evolving issues, you always find that we come at the end of the day with amicable solutions on how maybe we can avoid some of the key pathways where maybe we can be able to realize what we may call the conflicts. So that one is also very, very important, because at the end of the day, when now we are able to create solutions, then people always feel that unity is always there. And finally, guys, we should also focus on participating and volunteering in different activities. For instance, I have a good friend of mine who each and every weekend, she's called Mary. She keep on indulging herself with the children home, kind of donations. And in the process of volunteering in these activities, she has really, really met a lot of challenged children, and in the process, that group, the group that she really travels with, at the end of the day, they always have the common goals on how maybe they can be able to solve some of the key issues that are really, really affecting those kids. And I believe this is one way that we can really show that we are really giving what we may call the social service. because at the end of the day, social service is also very, very critical, you know. Social service is also very, very critical, because at the end of the day, it really build what we may call meaningful connection, you know. We really want to have that positive connection due to social service, you know. So in the process of doing that, we just realized that social service is really built. So guys, that's all I had today. You know, each and every time I really love coming and really love learning 1, 2, 3 issues also from you guys. And it's always a very good thing, you know, to understand on these issues from different perspectives. So guys, today we really had a very instrumental what is it called, instrumental poll. And our question was very simple: which way do we act to embrace on social unity? Which way do we act to embrace on social unity? And 67% are saying we should celebrate diversity. I agree, we should celebrate diversity. uh, Addressing conflict openly, we are having 0%. Then active listening and developing an act of empathy, 0%. And then others are saying with 33%. Topic on social unity is again. Thank you, Mr. Peter, is a lot of love. Thank you so much. So guys, I really want this topic at that point, you know. As always guys, we always going to have more topics each and every day, you know. It's all about learning from experienced guys such as Mr. Peter, you know. He always have very credible points. Thank you guys, thank you everyone, thank you for all those guys that really liked the live. Let's keep on sharing, and also guys, let's keep on supporting my new videos. As always guys, have a very nice evening Sunday. Let's meet tomorrow, same place, same time, God willing, and may you guys have a great time. Thank you. Good night guys.